All right. Our mission today, it's less about just acquiring knowledge and more like a forensic retrieval.
Mhm.
We're running what we're calling a tactical noir audit of reality itself. And I have to confess, I'm personally feeling what the source material calls ontological vertigo.
And that's a very surgical diagnosis for for the global condition right now.
It is.
It's that deep sense that the whole framework, the things we agree on, politics, economics, even physics, is starting to just fray at the edges.
Exactly. It's this persistent, really unsettling feeling that the ground is shifting, but it's doing it quietly.
Yes.
You look at our major institutions, the supply chain, the economy, the official stories on, well, on everything.
From space to medicine, yeah.
And it all feels structurally compromised, like a cardboard set that's been left out in the rain.
That's a perfect analogy.
We're all hyper-connected, but at the same time, we're completely alone in processing this instability. It feels like living in some kind of cosmic orphanage where the signal's been cut.
And it is absolutely crucial that you understand this feeling isn't personal anxiety. It isn't just post-pandemic blues.
Right.
It's the logical result of a massive historical system hitting the end of its cycle. The
Mhm.
files we've been looking at they're relentlessly analytical about this. They show a convergence of data streams all pointing to the same threshold.
2026 and 2020.
26, 2027, that's the window.
And that date range, that's the unsettling part. It keeps showing up. It's not just in some, esoteric text. It's being confirmed by the people who built the machine.
Executives who walk away.
Yes, the ones who get out and then admit that the current path leads to, well, a systemic inevitability.
And the distinction here is structural. It's key.
Yeah.
2026 is not the end of the world in that, moral Hollywood way.
No fire and brimstone.
No. It is strictly the end of their world. The centralized, rigid,
Ah.
and deeply inefficient system, basically the old Bronze Age palatial system, just fractalized into our modern tech palaces.
If you're saying this is about systemic obsolescence, it's not a punishment.
Exactly. The fracture is built into the architecture itself.
Okay, let's unpack that. If we're accepting this diagnosis, this systemic obsolescence, the next question has to be about navigation.
Of course.
How do you act? How do you even survive in the vacuum that opens up when the consensus reality collapses? You mentioned files, a forensic audit. What exactly are we looking at?
I've spent months pulling together this complete intelligence package. It's called the A.R.K universe.
A.R.K. as in
A.R.
there.
Pronounced ARK. Yes.
Mm.
And it defines itself very explicitly. This is not a self-help seminar.
Okay.
It is a forensic audit of reality. Its purpose is purely operational, to be a transversal intelligence hub.
Transversal, that's the word that stands out. It's unsettling because it implies crossing these boundaries that, academically, politically, we're all trained to keep separate.
They're siloed for a reason.
So give us a sense of the kind of intellectual awe this generates. What is this impossible mix of disciplines they're using to get to these conclusions?
The synthesis is it's breathtaking.
Yeah.
Because it totally ignores those academic silos. Imagine, okay, you're crossing modern genetics.
Right.
Specifically looking at the artificial fusion scar on human chromosome 2, which points to an engineered past.
Mm.
And you're crossing that with ancient Hebrew mysticism,
Kabbalah.
but treating Kabbalah not as some dusty religion, but as the original operating system of the human psyche.
That alone is a huge intellectual leap, a massive one. But the files, they go even further.
They have to. They connect tactical geopolitics. I'm talking about the fast, cascading collapse of the Bronze Age system around 1177 BC with deep Jungian psychology, analyzing the birth of the modern fractured ego.
And then they tie all of that back to forbidden archaeology.
Yes, the kind of seismic survival engineering you see in the polygonal walls in Peru. Structures built for forces we don't even account for anymore.
Or Göbekli Tepe, 11,600 years old.
Which completely rewrites the official timeline of civilization. And then they connect all this ancient data to the holographic reality model, a concept you can find validated in places like the CIA's own Declassified Gateway report.
Oh, okay, let me stop you. Because a lot of people listening are worried about their jobs, their money, their local politics. Why should they care about an 11,000-year-old site in Turkey?
What's the utility?
Yes, what's the utility of this synthesis?
The utility is pattern recognition. This system provides the missing link. It's the link that connects Sumeria to Silicon Valley.
Explain that.
Look at Sumeria. Their entire civilization was a bureaucratic machine built on cuneiform tablets. It was all records.
Resource management, debt?
Exactly. Centralized organization of human labor. It was an ancient ledger system.
An ancient ledger system.
Right, there's centralized logistics, their record keeping, how they manage human assets, the Lulu, which we need to get into. It's all mathematically congruent with modern centralized tech control.
So, Amazon's logistics, cloud infrastructure.
Or the programmability of a central bank digital currency. It is the exact same structural pattern, the ancient drive for rigid, centralized control, just repeating itself with new technology.
That is a huge claim. An escape map drawn from cross-referencing antiquity with genomics. So,
Yeah.
the critical question, the skeptical one, has to be asked.
Of course.
Who writes this stuff? Is it some anonymous collective? A guru meditating in a cave somewhere?
No. And that's maybe the most unsettling part. It's why the files carry a certain moral authority.
Go on.
The author is an insider. He describes himself as a former high-level executive, someone who spent years chasing success by the Matrix's own rules. He knew the guts of the corporate and financial beast.
So we're talking about someone who was actively building or managing the very system he's now saying is broken.
Correct. Someone who helped build the cage
Yeah.
before he realized the bars were closing in on him, too. Story's clear.
Yeah.
He collapsed. Went through a profound dark night of the soul.
A total breakdown.
Complete spiritual and professional breakdown. And he came back from that experience not with some simple faith, but with, and this is the quote, the building's blueprints.
So the subliminal message here, for you listening, is that this isn't just theory.
Yeah.
It's an escape map. Drawn by someone who knows the prison from the inside out. He's not offering hope. He's offering tactical intelligence.
It's testimony. And it's backed by structural knowledge, which brings us to right now. The files point to an inevitable structural bifurcation.
A splitting.
Two clear timelines accelerating away from each other as we speak.
Well, what are these two paths, and how do you choose which one you're on?
The files define them as assimilation versus ascension, starkly.
Okay, assimilation.
Assimilation is the smooth path, the convenient one. It leads straight into what you could call techno-feudalism. This is where you go from being a citizen to being effectively managed stock.
Managed biomass.
Yes. And this path is paved with incredible convenience, but it demands you accept the full package. CBDCs, which turn your money into a programmable coupon that can expire.
And digital ID wallets.
Which function as a centralized, easily hackable collar. One click, and you can be administratively deleted.
The ultimate Faustian bargain, then. Convenience for total hackable sovereignty. So if assimilation is that easy, what's the psychological cost?
Agency. Interiority. The system works by fragmenting your attention. It's designed to stop you from assembling a sovereign mind.
And ascension.
Ascension is the path of sovereignty. It requires intense internal work. And this is why the A.R.K. system defines its tools not as courses, but as mental weaponry.
For the ascension path.
Exclusively.
Okay, let's break down that arsenal. If these are weapons, what are the key components? What's the tactical gear?
First, the black files. These are pure intelligence reports, tactical dossiers. They require serious analysis.
For example?
For example, one details the chilling implications of the Schumer-Rounds Amendment. This is legislation that defines a legal process for the U.S. government to seize technology derived from non-human intelligence.
Wait, the U.S. Senate is legislating for assets derived from non-human sources.
Which means, at the highest level of governance, they aren't operating on the possibility that these things exist.
They're operating as if they do exist and need to be legally controlled.
Precisely. Or take the report on the CIA's Vault 7 program, like Weeping Angel. This proved years ago that the agency could turn your smart TV into a live mic.
Even when it looked like it was turned off.
Even when the power light was off. This is the kind of knowledge you need to armor your own perimeter, both physical and digital.
That covers external defense. What about the internal architecture, the mind itself?
That's the second piece. The system introduces the tree of life, Kabbalah, but it strips away all the dogma.
And presents it as what?
As the operating system of the psyche.
Yeah.
A non-linear map for the reverse engineering of the soul. Its only purpose is to help you build an internal center of gravity.
So you can achieve what they call sovereignty emotional.
Genuine strategic emotional autonomy. The ability to choose your response instead of being jerked around by externally induced chaos and fear.
So the mission is about transformation. Taking a person from being a human asset to being a self-ruling entity. How do the files define that?
The mission is defined as transforming the Lulu, that's the term from Sumerian texts for human slave labor, the asset to be managed into the sovereign.
And the mechanism for that?
It's the development of sovereignty of attention. The source uses this incredible metaphor of gopher wood. the material Noah used to build the Ark.
Right, which isn't a real type of tree.
Exactly. In this context, gopher wood represents the capacity for deep focus, the mental integrity you need to build your structural core, your clay, your vessel, in the face of all this modern fragmentation.
So if the gopher wood is attention, the flood is the modern digital noise. The 241 Feta 7 news cycle, the alerts, the fragmentation.
And the structural integrity of your own mind is the escape vessel. It's the only thing that can't be centrally hacked.
That connects directly back to what you said about the Bronze Age collapse.
Yes. It was a failure of hyper-efficiency without resilience. They built this rigid, specialized system that shattered at the first systemic shock. We are making the exact same mistake.
Our just-in-time supply chains, our total digital dependency. It feels like a house of cards built on the ruins of those old palaces. Where is our most acute structural vulnerability today?
The files are adamant. It's the grid.
A power grid.
A Class X supersolar storm, a repeat of the 1859 Carrington event, is not a matter of if, it's a probability. If that magnetic pulse hits Earth today, the GICs, the geomagnetically induced currents, will physically melt high-voltage transformers across the entire sun-facing side of the planet.
And those transformers aren't off-the-shelf parts. They take years to build and replace.
Correct. The result is a quick, hard fallback to the Middle Ages for 8 billion people who have no idea how to survive without their digital systems. It is the ultimate failure mode of hyper-efficiency.
So the defense protocol, the tactical hygiene, has to be about physical and cognitive resilience. What does that look like?
It looks like an analog backup of your life. It's securing sovereignty of knowledge, keeping critical information maps, medical guides, how-to manuals off the cloud, and in robust physical form.
And dumbifying your home?
Exactly. Getting rid of unnecessary code in your appliances, removing hackable pathways, limiting your digital surface area. This is how you build your internal vessel, your clay, so it can withstand the pressure without collapsing.
They're essentially asking you to become a resistance node just by securing your own perimeter.
Because they don't seek followers. They recruit consciousness nodes. The integrity of the individual is the most valuable asset going forward.
The system is failing from obsolescence.
The political, molar reality moves at the speed of a horse-drawn carriage. Molecular reality technology, life itself, is moving at ultrasonic speed.
And that fracture, that gap between the speed of tech and the speed of governance, that's the window. That's the opportunity for the individual to ascend.
That gap is everything. The pressure is building, and this is about to break wide open. You need to stay alert. Stay tuned. Don't blink, or you'll miss it.
And that leaves you with the ultimate decision, the one these files force you to confront. The goal of transhumanism, of things like Neuralink, is to eliminate the air gap, that biological wall that keeps your mind from being directly hacked, to plug you into the global Wi-Fi. It's sold as salvation. But are you willing to surrender that biological wall, your spiritual autonomy, for the comfort of becoming an immortal PDF file, a subroutine in their new machine? Or are you ready to activate the other 97% of your code and become a conscious creator? That choice between being the Lulu or becoming the architect, it's happening right now, whether you're paying attention or not.